Do you come to the yoga mat with a very specific purpose? Maybe to work on your shoulders or hips or a specific muscle, such as a hamstring? This practice is all about just having fun. Sometimes we get a little bit too serious in our practice. So just doing those poses that give you joy makes a lot of sense. We'll begin in downward facing dog. As you begin your practice in downward facing dog, look at your hands to make sure you've got a strong foundation with spread fingers. Look at your toes to make sure that you've got a nice foundation with your feet. Breathe in deep and breathe out long. On your next inhale breath, lift your right foot in the air. Just lift it high, have fun with it. Release your right foot down. Take your left leg up. Keep a nice engagement and tone in the legs with a nice spread toes, and take it down. Now look forward and walk your feet to the front of the mat. With your hands to the low back and your knees bent, rise up. Reach up to the sky. Each practice, I love doing at least 1 or 2 rounds of Surya Namaskar. Release your hands down, step your right leg back. And we'll do variations to Surya Namaskar on the next inhale breath. Lift your arms up to come to a high lunge. Draw your gaze up, your hands back. Exhale, take your hands down. Come to a plank position. Lower down. Inhale, baby cobra, elbows bent. Exhale, back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, step your right foot forward. Sweep your arms up to come to a high lunge. Gaze up, hands back, gaze back. Release your hands down. Step your back foot forward. Place your hands to the low back and rise up. There's so many variations to sun salute. Let's do another round of sun salute, leading with our left foot, and we'll do more variations. Inhale, reach your arms up and back. Exhale, take your hands down to the earth. Step your left leg back. Come to a high lunge again. Reach your arms up. Now release your left hand down as you keep your right arm up and come to a twist. From that twist, take your right arm over your head and enjoy just a nice lengthening action. Release your hand down. Step back to a plank position. Lower down. Inhale, reach your heart forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward. Come to a high lunge again. Reach up. Exhale, release your right hand down. Come to the twist again. Reach your arm up and over your head for a nice elongation of the side body. Release your hand down. Step your back foot forward. Place your hands to the low back and rise up. Sun salutes are so great to get you warm. Take a wide stance. In your wide stance, turn your right toes out. Bend your right knee. To me, warrior pose is something I do almost every practice, but I don't consider it like really fun. I get a little bit too serious. Instead, I love to play with the form of it. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Draw your heart down toward your inner knee in this humble warrior pose. Keep your back leg strong and draw your heart a little bit closer to the earth. Inhale, lift yourself up. Now come back to Virabhadrasana 2, just so that we can get a nice stretch to the side body. Come to Goddess Warrior pose. Reach your right arm up and over your head as you slide your left hand down. Inhale, come to triangle pose. Straighten your right leg and reach your left arm over your head for a nice stretch of the side body. Inhale, rise up. Come to the opposite side. And once again, as you bend your left knee, interlace your fingers behind your back. Just draw your heart down toward the earth, this humble warrior pose. As you lift your interlaced fingers up, inhale, rise up. Just pass through warrior 2 before going to a nice fullness to the left side ribs in Goddess Warrior pose. Inhale, come to triangle pose. Draw your hand down, reach over. Root down to rise up. To release your hands and heel toe your feet in toward each other. Let's balance. I like balancing off the mat just because it keeps me really rooted into the earth without the padding of the yoga mat. Once your left foot is nice and stable, lift your right leg up and have fun with it. As you park, first the toes, then the heel to the inner thigh. Get a strong engagement. Hug in from the foot to the inner thigh. Just get this nice embrace. From there, expand your tree. Just allow you to move as any tree would do. Allow a nice fullness in your pose, fullness in your breath. So often when we come to a tree pose, we're holding our breath, making sure we don't fall over. Just have fun with it. If you fall over, if you feel out of balance, maybe you can just make yourself feel like, oh, I can fall over, and just have fun with this one. Release now your right foot and hands. With your right foot, very stable, lift your left foot up and park your foot to the inner thigh. It's a pose we do so frequently, but rarely do we have fun with it. See if you can get your tree to move a little bit, and in that, just play with it. Have your branches just so full. Expand your pose with such brightness. See about being playful in the pose. Let your branches move. Just going to trust in the standing leg to keep you balanced. And release your hands down. Just have fun with it. Let's come back to the mat again. And another balance pose that I think is so much fun is Ardha Chandrasana. So as you turn your right toes out, bend your right knee. We'll come into this pose through Konasana. So with your right knee bent, inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, take your hand down to the floor. With the right hand to the floor, just step in with your back foot. Step your right hand forward before lifting your back leg up. And to see how high you can lift the back leg. Reach your arm up. It's really fun reaching your arm over your head. So all the way from the foot to the fingertips, you just get this really nice feeling of elongation. We started in Konasana. Let's come back to triangle pose to come out of the pose. As gracefully as you can, look back at your lifted foot and see if you can land your lifted foot in line with your right foot. Come to a triangle pose and root down to rise up. Let's come to the opposite side. So turn your left toes out with fullness in the pose. You'll bend your knee to take your hand to the outer ankle area. Look down toward the floor. Lift your back heel. Step your back foot forward. Step your hand forward. And as you're ready, lift your back leg high. Engage the back leg by spreading the toes. Reach your right arm up. Reach your right arm over. So much fullness in the pose. So much engagement. And slowly take yourself back to a triangle pose by looking back at your toes and landing in line with your front foot to come to a triangle pose. And lift yourself out of the pose. Release your hands down. So we were able to do several fun standing poses and balance poses. Now let's come to sit. The funnest way to sit is through Tadasana to a squat position. Coming to squat is a wonderful way to open the hips and a wonderful way to just kind of check in with your balance here, with your engagement, and to see how close you can take your pelvis to the mat so that you land very softly on the mat. Good. Hope that was a soft landing for you. When you land on the mat, bend your right knee. Take your left foot to the outer right knee. Sweep your right arm up. Twist toward your bent leg. And just allow this nice opening of the chest as you come to the twist. Now, one of the more open ways to express yourself in this pose is to straighten your right arm. So you can kind of reach that down toward your ankle, maybe even grab the inside of your ankle. But with a straight arm, you've got this nice fullness. If you feel like you're leaning a little bit too much in the right hip, see if you can just kind of shift your weight so you're taking more weight to the left hip. And slowly make your way out of the pose. Let's come to Ardha Matsyendrasana on the opposite side. So bend your left leg. Park your right foot just to that outer thigh. You want to pull in with that lifted leg. So it's not the arm pulling the leg as much. Reach your left arm up. Twist toward the bent leg. Take your elbow to the outer knee. And just enjoy the twist. Twists are such a wonderful way to just to take your mind into this very playful mode. And yet, there's so much self-discovery that goes on with twists, too. You see the differences on the sides when you twist to the right compared to twisting to the left. And it becomes fun. It becomes very playful to just learn about the body in this way. Again, you can come to what feels to me like just a little bit more fullness by straightening your left arm as you stay in the twist and balance your pelvis. So you might want to lean more into the right side to get that balance feeling. And now come out of the twist. One way for me to really have fun, to just kind of clear the air, is to go upside down, right? And for many of us, going upside down is totally not in our practice. So if you don't practice headstands, please do not join me, but instead come to a child's pose or downward facing dog. Those of you that have headstand as part of your practice, let's begin by interlacing the fingers and pressing your forearms down. So as you come to your forehead, lift yourself up. Breathe very free and natural. And of course, a fun way to do your headstand is just to move your legs in ways that serve you nicely, ways that make you feel like you're just kind of playful in the action. You can take your feet together in Baddha Konasana. Take one leg down, the other leg down. Just play with it. Or keep a nice steadiness in your pose, a nice engagement. And as you're ready, let's all meet in child's pose. As you come to child's pose, invite fullness to your breath, ease to your breath. Notice the difference that you're feeling when a very playful attitude is brought to the practice. And as you're ready, come to lie on your back. When you lie on your back, bend your knees. Just draw your right knee in and just give it a nice hug. Release your right foot to the earth. Take your left leg in, same thing, just give it a nice hug. And release your foot to the earth. With your left leg straight, just park your right foot on top of the thigh. Reach your arms out as if they were wings and come to a twist again. Enjoy a nice fullness all the way from the right hip to the armpit, keeping your right shoulder firmly on the mat. Come back to the center position, straighten your right leg, bend your left leg, and same thing, just draw over into the supine twist. Invite a nice fullness to your breath. Come back to the center position with your knees bent. Plant your feet. Lift your pelvis up off the floor. I like taking the arms in this robot pose as a way to just refine my bridge. You can interlace your fingers if you wish. But to me, the more fun way is the robot arms, because it creates a little bit more freedom. Sometimes the interlaced fingers give a lot of tightness to some of our necks. So you enjoy this nice fullness of the chest. Now slowly release your pelvis down, but step your feet together and take your knees wide apart. So now the supine Baddha Konasana pose. You can also lift your pelvis up. So press your elbows down, lift up, and once again, you get this nice fullness to the upper chest, nice fullness to your breath. Exhale, release your pelvis down, draw your knees together, pull both of your knees in toward your heart, and just move side to side. Nice, easy massaging of your back muscles. After a few minutes, just having fun with our practice, it's so sweet to give ourselves the beautiful flavor that Savasana allows us to leave our practice with. So as you straighten your legs and let your arms draw to the floor with the palms facing up, just delight in the playfulness of the practice. You gave yourself this time to have a little fun on the mat. And now give yourself this time to relax completely. To dwell in that spirit of freedom that playfulness gives us. Remind yourself that there's nothing to do now. For the moment, there's no place you have to be. You can just show gratitude to yourself for giving yourself this time to play a bit in your yoga practice. As you're ready, you can slowly take your arms up over your head. Bend your knees. Invite a really full and easeful in-breath and out-breath. If you can stay resting a little bit longer, please do. Otherwise, as you end your practice, be sure to take a few moments to just reside in the comfort of this feeling. After you play, you feel such ease, such freedom. With gratitude to the practice and the teachings, we bow. Namaste.